talk to our mate Harold the H.
Oh, sorry.
Peacock, and he's going to talk about a Bible I've just rediscovered after 139 years. He's a brilliant storyteller. Are you there, Harold?
Yes, Danny. I'm looking forward to warming your morning with this story.
Yeah, that's very good, because you're out getting a coffee somewhere near Canmore, and you said it's very cold.
Yeah, it's a trifle chilly this morning, but I'm looking forward to telling you this story, Dan.
Well, tell us a story about the Bible.
Yeah, well, it's all because back in the 19th century, the British and Foreign Bible Society in London established committees in every colony of Australia.
Correct.
Now, the goal was always the same, that there should be a copy of the scriptures in every home, and every man, woman and child in the colony should have God's word in their hands. And so it was on the 18th of October 1885, the ship, the Duke of Sutherland, berthed in Brisbane. Disembarking was 7-year-old Robert Evan Ernest Hughes and his family from North Wales. Now, a small King James New Testament Bible that had been printed in London in 1883 was given to Ernest. Now, the boy signed his name and the date inside the front cover and pressed a small flower between its pages. Now, over the years, he'd underlined his favourite verses. Now, that little Bible went on a journey through Ipswich history. It was lost and then found again, and that's what I'm going to tell you the story of now. You see, Ernest took his Bible to Grantchester, where his father built a slab hut and went about clearing 20 acres on their 80-acre farm. That's where Ernest met young Annie Dunlop. Annie's parents were from Dublin in Ireland. She was born in Grantchester and was in fact the first of her 11 siblings to be born here. Now, as you know, Grantchester was a birthplace of the Queensland Railways.
Exactly.
And the South Coast line to Southport was officially opened in 1889. Now, by this time, Annie's family had moved to Goodna, and her father then got a job on the New South Coast line. And in the meantime, Ernest's father got a job as a carpenter at the end of the line. So Ernest and his little Bible moved to Southport. Now, the Hughes family went to live in Merrim Street in a home that they called Hughesville.
Right.
Now, once he was old enough, Ernest, with his Bible, went to work on a station as a station hand on a Rockwood station on the Maranoa in outback Queensland. Now, that's where Ernest learned to ride a horse, and then in 1903 brought his Bible back to Southport, where he got work as a horse groom. Now, Ernest's story almost ends there, because he had a near-fatal accident at the Southport racecourse while galloping a 2-year-old colt. You see, the horse bolted off the track, and getting amongst the oak trees, Ernest was knocked off and knocked unconscious. Now, once the doctor arrived, he regained consciousness. But when Ernest got home to Hughesville, he lost consciousness again and remained that way in a precarious condition for days.
Wow.
Now, Danny, his little Bible must have been put to good use because he survived.
Wow.
Now, the paths of Ernest and his childhood sweetheart Annie crossed again because they got married in Southport in 1905.
Wow.
Now, for a while, Ernest's Bible moved around the corner into the couple's home in Lennyberg Street in Southport. But by 1919, Ernest and Annie and his Bible were living next to his parents in a Labour Street home that they called Pentray, after the family's little village in Wales. And there, this little Bible, Ipswich Bible, remained for the next 50 years.
Wow.
Now, Ernest passed away in 1954, and the Bible remained with his wife Annie. Their son Arthur inherited it in 1961.
Wow.
When the son Arthur passed away in 1965, the home Pentray was sold and cleared out. That's when this little King James Bible was lost, and seemingly lost forever.
Wow.
But that was until a wonderful lady saw the Bible laying on the footpath across the road from Arthur's old house.
Get out.
She picked it up, and knowing it must have been valued by someone, she kept it and later gave it to her daughter. Now, Danny, do you know who that incredibly insightful woman was who saved that piece of Ipswich history? Do you know who it was?
Anna Bligh.
Better than that, it was my mother. So a big hello.
What, your mum?
My mum picked up that Ipswich Bible and saved it.
Is that...
So a big hello to Mum, and all my love to Mum Shirley down in Southwood, who's listening right now, Danny. She's one of your biggest fans.
Shirl, it's lovely, and he's so lucky. I hope he looks after you, Shirl, because both Damien and I have lost our mums recently, so mums are very important, and she saved that Bible. Your mum got it now?
Yeah, well, yes, she has. She just brought it out the other day, and that's when I thought, I've got to look into this. What's the story? And, of course, all roads lead to Ipswich, so I love you, Mum.
Unbelievable, and it's lovely to hear a grown man and his own children say that. It's lovely to hear. Good on you, mate. And what are you going to do with that Bible?
Well, I don't know. It's just sitting there. It's a bit moth-eaten, but you can certainly see young Evans writing on the inside and the date when he arrived in Australia. And the underlined verses. It's quite moving just to hold and think.
Is the leaf
where it went.
Is the leaf still in it?
No, but the imprint is.
Wow.
So you can see the flower in there.
What a great yarn. And mate, I'm not lying. Damien and I talk about it. You're a brilliant storyteller. And that's what radio lacks these days, are good storytellers. Isn't that true?
It is.
The Pooh was a brilliant storyteller. Greg Carey, Peter Dick, great storytellers.
Harry Peacock.
Harry. Well, that says Harry's on now. Good on you, Harry. Now, how do we get a look at this story? And
I'll be posting that story and photos of the Bible too, and Ernest's handwriting on the inside. It'll be first thing in the morning on historyouthere.com.
Historyouthere.com. Coming up, we've got Jack Sim talking to us about the graveyard that Lang Park used to be. That's a good yarn too.
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be exciting as well.
Yeah, lovely having you on the program. Harold the H. Peacock is exclusive to West Bremer Radio at 8:23.